The NCAA tournament is reaching its climax, and in the East Region's Elite Eight showdown on Saturday, the University of Illinois and the University of Connecticut will showcase their high-scoring prowess. The Illini, with a 29-8 record, triumphed over the formidable defense of the Iowa State Cyclones with a narrow 72-69 victory, while the Huskies, standing at an impressive 34-3, dominated the SDSU Aztecs with a resounding 82-52 win. Surprisingly, this matchup marks the first meeting between these two schools on the basketball court, set to take place at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, on March 30th. This game promises to be a fast-paced encounter. Illinois, exceeding preseason expectations after starting outside the top 25, has secured their spot in the Elite Eight by defeating Morehead State, Duquesne, and the resilient Iowa State Cyclones with an average winning margin of 15 points. Their recent victory over the Cyclones, with a final score of 72-69, showcased the brilliance of star player Terrence Shannon Jr., who scored 29 points despite limited playing time due to foul trouble. Shannon Jr. has been instrumental in Illinois' tournament journey, averaging an impressive 28.3 points per game. This Elite Eight appearance is a significant achievement for the Illini, marking their first since 2005. Illinois boasts an average of 84.2 points per game, while allowing 73.2, resulting in an 11-point positive margin, with 4 players averaging double-digit scoring, led by Shannon Jr. With 23.5 points per game, the Illini demonstrate balanced offensive prowess. They maintain solid shooting percentages from the field, three-point range, and the free throw line, while also showcasing efficiency on the defensive end. Additionally, their rebounding efforts contribute to their overall team success. On the other hand, the UConn Huskies, reigning national champions, have amassed an impressive 34-3 record, making them one of the top contenders in the tournament. With a scoring margin differential of 81.6 points per game against 63.6 points allowed, the Huskies exhibit dominance on both ends of the court. Led by guard Tristan Newton and Cam Spencer, who average 15.3 and 14.5 points respectively, and supported by the towering presence of center Donovan Clingan, the Huskies present a formidable challenge to their opponents. Their efficient play, coupled with strong rebounding and defensive prowess, has propelled them to success throughout the tournament. As the Illinois Illini prepare to face the formidable UConn squad, they draw upon their resilience and determination to compete at the highest level. Having faced tough opponents in the past, including a close encounter against Purdue earlier in the season, Illinois is poised to keep the game competitive. With their scrappy interior play and Shannon Jr.'s ability to perform under pressure, the Illini aim to defy the odds and narrow the gap against UConn. In conclusion, the matchup between Illinois and UConn promises to be a thrilling encounter, with both teams showcasing their strengths on the court. While UConn enters as the favored team, Illinois remains determined to challenge them and capitalize on their strengths to keep the game close. With the Elite Eight berth at stake, both teams are prepared to leave it all on the court in pursuit of victory. My team pick is Illinois 8.5 points. UConn's scoring prowess is undeniable, with the team surpassing the 90-point mark in 3 of their last 10 games and maintaining an average of nearly 83 points per game in their 3 tournament appearances. Conversely, while Illinois boasts numerous strengths, their defense ranks 84th on KenPom, allowing 101.3 points per 100 possessions. This defensive ranking is somewhat influenced by Illinois' faster pace of play, averaging 69.7 possessions per 40 minutes. Despite the Illini's offensive strengths, UConn's top-ranked efficient offense is poised to maintain a high-scoring average in this matchup. Illinois has been scoring at an impressive rate. Their 72-point performance against Iowa State exceeded the Cyclones' typical defensive yield. Moreover, Illinois averaged 75 points against Purdue earlier in the season, suggesting their offensive capabilities could push this game towards the over. Notably, the over has hit in 5 of the last 6 Illini games. Although UConn has limited opponents to scores below the 60s in most of their recent games, Illinois possesses the nation's second-ranked offense, closely trailing behind the Huskies. Considering the offensive firepower of both teams and the potential for a high-scoring affair, taking the over at 154.5 points seems like a prudent choice. Coach Brad Brownell finds himself in unfamiliar territory, reaching the Elite Eight for the first time in his 14-year tenure at Clemson. This season marks only the second Sweet 16 appearance under his leadership. Nevertheless, the Tigers are gaining momentum when it matters most. They started strong with a comfortable victory over 11 New Mexico in the opening round and followed up with consecutive upsets against 3 Baylor and 2 Arizona in more recent games. As of now, with 12 teams still competing, Clemson has the second longest odds to win the tournament at 3,500, with only NC State having longer odds at 9,000. On a game-by-game basis, Clemson holds a record against the spread ats, and 18 of their 35 games have gone under the total. The recent victory over Arizona was an upset both in terms of seeding and betting expectations, as Clemson closed as an underdog. The Tigers displayed superior shooting percentages, outshooting their opponents from the field 49.2% to 37.3%, and from three-point range 32.0% to 17.9%. However, the Wildcats held an advantage in rebounding 44-36 and committed fewer turnovers 9-10. Individually, PJ Hall has been instrumental for the team, leading in scoring with 18.4 points per game, as well as in steals 0.8 SPG and blocks 1.5 BPG. Ian Schieffelin provides additional support in the paint, contributing 9.9 points per game and leading the team in rebounds with 9.4 per game. Alabama's entry into the tournament was overshadowed by concerns about their defensive capabilities. However, their potent offense, averaging 90.0 points per game across 3 tournament games, has rendered defensive worries inconsequential. Nate Oates' offensive juggernaut has propelled the Tide to victories over 13 Charleston, 12 Grand Canyon, and 1 North Carolina in their most recent outing. With odds at 1,800 to win the tournament, Alabama ranks 6th shortest as of Friday morning. In terms of game-level statistics, the Crimson Tide hold a record against the spread ATs, with 26 of their 35 games going over the total. The game against North Carolina was a thrilling affair, with Alabama covering as an underdog and securing an outright victory. The Tide showcased their offensive prowess by outshooting their opponents from the field 47.8% to 38.5%, and from beyond the arc 42.3% to 37.5%. While the Tar Heels held advantages in turnovers 8-10 and rebounding 46-43, Alabama's scoring proficiency ultimately prevailed. Individually, Mark Sears has been instrumental in the backcourt, leading the team in both scoring 21.4 PPG and steals 1.7 SPG. Grant Nelson anchors the frontcourt, contributing 1.8 points per game, while leading the team in rebounds 5.6 RPG and blocks 1.6 BPG. Over the past decade, we've grown accustomed to witnessing Clemson and Alabama clash on the football field. Now, it's time for their basketball programs to meet in a high-stakes encounter. Intriguingly, this will mark the second meeting between these two teams this year, with Clemson emerging victorious in Tuscaloosa during the ACCCC Challenge back in late November. This winning record against top-tier competition is certainly noteworthy and underscores Clemson's capability to compete at a high level. Given their track record and ability to contend with elite teams, I'm backing the Tigers in this matchup against Alabama, especially considering the concerns surrounding Alabama's defense. With their ability to control the tempo and focus on defense, Clemson can aim to keep the score in the 70s, making it crucial for them to dictate the pace of the game. Despite being underrated defensively, if Clemson's defense shows up even marginally, I anticipate the game to stay under the total on Saturday night.